Welcome to Bird for Joy, a show about discovering all the different ways that bird watching can bring joy into our lives. I'm Candilynn Fite, your gracious host and fledgling birder. Here at Bird for Joy, we focus on listening and watching the birds around us, being curious and learning what the birds have to teach us about joy, life, and ourselves. So grab your favorite beverage, settle on your perch, and let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to the Bird for Joy podcast. In the past 2 episodes, we've discussed how birding can help chase away those winter blues. Today, I'll offer a few different ways that you can participate in birding activities without exposing yourself to cold and/or wet conditions. Here are some unconventional ways to enjoy the birds this winter. Window birding. Set up bird feeders or create a bird-friendly garden to attract a variety of bird species to your backyard. This allows for rewarding close-up observations of birds while remaining in the comforts of your home. This is especially helpful if you are unable to get outdoors due to weather, illness, or physical limitations. You could also set up a birding station on your windowsill with a pair of binoculars, a spotting scope, and your bird field guide. Have you ever considered parking lot birding or birding from your vehicle? When heading out to the grocery store next time or going shopping, don't forget to pack your binoculars along with your shopping list. I can't tell you how often I sit in my car and observe the birds in parking lots. Last spring, I headed to Mitchell Lake Audubon Center, a wildlife refuge out near San Antonio. But when I arrived, they warned me about the mosquitoes. They allow vehicles on the trails, so I opted to drive instead of walking. And thank goodness I did. Every time I stopped to observe a bird with my binoculars, the tiny winged vampires swarmed, bouncing off my car windows. What about birding from balconies or porches? If accessible, you can spend time out on your balcony or porch observing birds that visit. You can use binoculars or a spotting scope if you have access to them. These optical devices can bring distant birds into clear view, allowing for detailed observation and identification. Like with window birding, I find it handy to keep a bird field guide with me. Now, the next one is unique, one I hadn't thought of until a few weeks ago, and it does require you to go outside. It perhaps is the most unconventional technique for birding I've ever done. Deer stand birding. After we received nearly 18 inches of rain in a 10-day period, trying to walk in the woods was like trudging through a marsh. Climbing out of the muck was such a treat. Of course, not everyone has access to a deer stand, but my neighbors are hunters. This is Texas after all. I've been granted permission to go birding on their property. When deer season is over, I found their deer stands to be incredibly useful and an opportunity to observe from, well, a bird's eye view. So far, I have located 3, but I've only had the bravery to use 1. 2 of them are straight, vertical metal ladders about 15 or so feet up the tree. It's strapped to the tree with a tiny seat to perch on. I've gotten about halfway up both of those and decided that they are way too steep and dangerous. If I fell, no one would know. Consider this. If a birder falls in the woods and there's no one around to hear her, does she even make a sound? Chances are that she's going to, but I'm not going to take a chance. Now, the third stand is perfect. It's not even attached to the tree, but it's a 4-postered metal monstrosity nestled into the trees and the yaupon bushes. The 10 sturdy steps lead to a very good-sized platform with a rotating chair that turns in 360 degrees. Once I'm settled in, the birds seem to be quite interested and move in close. The Carolina chickadees are the most curious. Last week, I spent nearly 2 hours listening, watching, and making friends with the birds. Of course, since I'm a fair-weathered birder, the temperatures have to be above 60 degrees Fahrenheit for me to actually sit in the trees. Here are a list of birds that I heard and observed while sitting in the deer stand. A mourning dove, Savannah sparrow, American crow, American goldfinch, tufted titmouse, Carolina chickadee, song sparrow, and a barred owl. Now, I have a treat for those birders who are so done with winter but live in regions where it's still very cold and dreary and you don't want to even go outside. I did a bit of research on indoor birding activities. Consider ordering a bird-themed puzzle or game. Both can be entertaining and/or educational, providing insights to bird anatomy, behavior, and ecology. Here are a few games. Wingspan, Birds of a Feather, Sibley Birders Trivia, Flock, and then there's even one called Birdopoly. Most of these games are for more than one player, but I bet the Sibley Birders Trivia game could be used like flashcards for an individual. If you're a birder on a budget, check out author, illustrator, and crafter Darcy Miller's website. She has an entire page dedicated to bird trivia games for all ages with downloadable printables, which are free if you sign up for her newsletter. I will include the link to her website in the show notes. Okay, for you puzzle people, check out the large flock of birdie puzzles at the Puzzle Warehouse. I love the one titled Winter Encounter because I am forever wishing that a chickadee will land on my hand for a bit of seed. When I entered the word bird into the website search bar, it yielded 532 puzzle results. That's a lot of puzzles, my friends. I will drop a link as well in the show notes. Maybe you're feeling crafty. If so, fly on over to the Crafty Blog Stalker. Katie Adams is the creator of the Crafty Blog Stalker. She's gathered 25 birdie-ful craft ideas. Y'all, the DIY wood slice owl is a hoot. And if anyone tries the DIY shrinky-dink bird earrings, I will pay you if you make me a pair. Again, I will drop a link to Katie's website in the show notes. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. By exploring these accessible and unconventional approaches to birding, bird enthusiasts of all levels who may be homebound for whatever reason, unwell or unable to venture outdoors due to weather, can still enjoy the beauty and the wonder of birds and have a unique and rewarding experience. Join me next week for the last episode about winter birding. We'll talk about virtual birding. I'll share a few of my favorite YouTube channels, Instagram accounts, and a few upcoming online courses that you can participate in to get you geared up just in time for that 2024 spring migration. Until then, I wish you a joyous and birdie-ful week. If you are enjoying the show, I would love it if you would follow or subscribe, rate, review, and then let others know about the podcast so we can continue to build a community of like-minded birders. A big shout out to composer Jonathan Boyle for his cheerful show music called Plucking Happy. The spoken lyrics were written and read by me, and the full version with lyrics will follow this episode. Until next time, stay chirpy, my friends, and get outside, feel the sun upon your face and the wind in your hair, and bird for joy's sake. Bird for joy's sake, when you're needing more, a new beginning, feeling lost, alone, or blue, go into nature. Stroll to the melodious tunes of birdsong. Let it refresh your soul, fill your heart, lift your spirits. Yes, bird, for joy's sake. Witness the winged wonders, flitting, fluttering, playing hide and tweet. Is there anything else so sweet? I think not. We'll save for the chitter-chatter of my own nestlings as they filled my early days, but sigh no more, for they have long left the nest, and I now strive to find myself once again, discovering new things that I do best. Bird, for joy's sake, for our feathered friends have much joy to share, and it doesn't cost a dime, only time. And I don't know about you, but I am willing to give, to have a chance to live out my days, filled with curiosity, hope, and wonder, learning patience, the art of slowing down and being fully present, living in the moment, something I have long strived to achieve. Bird, for joy's sake, and keep looking up. Let their constant cheer infect you, their tenacity provide you with lessons of never giving up and looking on the brighter side of life. Prepare for entertainment with their quirky, chirpy silliness. Oh my, so much cuteness, happiness, and whimsy. You can't help but smile. And suddenly you'll discover worries cease, frustrations fade, chaos calms, and troubles melt away like snow in the spring. You will find yourself looking up and forward into the horizon, surrounded by song, hope, and happiness perched in your heart, feeling renewed and fulfilled. Go out into nature, take a stroll, let the avifauna rejuvenate your soul, and bird, for joy's sake.